Hanwha Life eSports and the Zyra targeting out JunJia right away. This guy was a monster when he played in that match against KC.
Yeah, and I know Cronicler would even be happy that, because Peanut can also not pick the Zyra now. he is not a big fan of Peanut on the Zyra. So even a little bit self-protection, you know, sometimes you're able to go for that. But the Sejuani Maokai have been really big topics along with the Skarner because the tank junglers have found so much success. So, you know, Chawi on the side here of CFO also doing his parting at the Sejuani on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Leona going to be banned away here, so even Kaiwing getting a look as the Leona was quite good. I am curious about what this final ban will be. You see that the Kalista did get banned out, even though it is not having a ton of success. But yeah, there's that Maokai you were talking about.
Yeah, I had my eyes, you know, on the junglers specifically for this one. Peanut has been such a good engage for this team. Regardless, it leaves a lot up for top lane. And Zeus on a Rumble, they slam the first pick.
Yeah, the Rumble's really strong. It gets banned on red side in a decent amount of regions as well, so the fact that it just gets slammed down here, it's going to have a good matchup into the Cassante if it does get locked in here by Rest, which he might just do it anyway because it is Cassante after all. The Vi also very much ready and available, so we'll see if JunJia does want to pick that up.
Yeah, Vians and Zhao, a couple of these AD jungles we're now kind of looking at since a lot of the tanks have been knocked down. And we are going to get the HongQ Azir here. What do we want to pair this one up with? Do we want to snag jungle here pretty early on? Or try and go AD carry? There we go. Ezreal, so much priority on the range for this champion. Provides you a lot of versatility. So a lot of teams highly prioritizing these two carries. Because these are the two carries that are highly mobile. And if you're staring at a Rumble, you already want to be mobile with your carries so you can get off the Rumble ultimate. And immediately HLE, the Vi you mentioned, they want to keep those carries in place, lock them down. And my goodness, we get the Zeka Yone, so it's definitely going to be scary for all parties involved.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at this draft, this is a Hanwha Life eSports god tier draft. But the thing is, I don't think it does very well into what CFO have already, right? It's very hardcore dive, full committal into two mobile carries, like you were saying, and they can just draft more passivity, more disconnection on the side of CFO, more disengage. They're going to go for the Wukong for some ability to create some more space for their carries.
Okay, JunJia is a JunJia favorite here, one of those carry jungle champs. So we'll see if he can get done on the Wukong. Wukong, obviously, you know, trying to get to the level 6 at a little bit slower. Personally, I'm very scared since Yone's already like a good kill champion into Azir, and then it's Zeka's Yone into your Azir. So, you know, good luck, 17-year-old HongQ in that matchup. Definitely looks to be scary. We'll see about whittling down that AD carry pool, though, since, of course, HLE, since they wanted to jump on the Yone before it got banned away, it does mean Viper's going to be the one that has to take the hit in the champ pool. Thankfully, Viper has a very deep champion pool, and so it seems like he should be fine. With the Ezreal, though, on their side, I mean, a lot of people have been taking the Kai'Sa into it, and since Kai'Sa already thrives with dive comps, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, but yeah, we'll see if CFO feel the same way.
I think it's definitely a good shout. I do like the fact that without lane swaps, we've been seeing a lot more 2v2 kind of, you know, early ganks in the bottom lane, trying to get your bottom lanes ahead and really focusing on 2v2 matchups specifically. And the Kai'Sa doesn't necessarily do amazingly in that, but they're still going to take it away because it's so good with the comp, and that's definitely a good shout there, Kobe, as Ornn also banned away here from Rest.
Nice, you know, they could recognize that CFO are just trying to build a really standard team comp, and so they want to take out some of those extra tools there. So not going to have that very easy to execute engage. We're going to go with here instead. I mean, Ezreal is such a flexible AD carry because you can pair it with like Karma and go double, you know, poke on bottom lane, or you can go for the engage supports. And usually Kaiwing likes engage, but that Karma that I mentioned is going to be the go-to. So have some strong poke early on.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been seeing Kaiwing playing a lot of melee engage. That has been the meta for quite a while, but this duo, this 2v2 with the Ezreal Karma is so very strong, especially with a bunch of bans, especially towards that Varus that could have done a decent job into this. So very curious to see what Viper and Delight will respond with here, as they got to do something that can survive in the 2v2, but also does well with the comp, as the AShe is going to be picked up. Definitely a nice choice.
Yeah, AShe still really strong, and I love the Hawk shot as well to really enable Peanut here in the early game. Let's see, Delight definitely gonna look for some more engage here, since they are, you know, pretty heavy with it. AShe Arrow gonna be able to set up so much for this team. I feel like HLE are just gonna slam it forward. Yeah, they actually get Delight's Rakan.
Yeah.
That was still up.
I mean, so much was available for Delight here.
Yeah, Delight's Rakan and Zeka's Yone here. I am very scared for CFO.
Yeah, this is, again, Hanwha Life eSports kind of just getting whatever they wanted. You know, he could have played Alistar, but the Rakan just a little bit stronger in the lane. I think, you know, they're just totally playing for team fights, though, and that is what this team does. What is this final pick, as it's Alistar to be picked here for the bottom lane, as the Karma will be flexed?
Yeah. So, you know, yeah, Kaiwing does have that proclivity for the engaged, you know, melee supports, and so they are going to rotate it up to the top side here, the Karma for rest instead. See how this turns out, because HLE, they have very, very heavy dive, so they can push the pace of this game very quickly if they do get that lead. As well, the Hawkshot's so good here at being able to control the jungle matchup, and since, you know, JunJia is such a big, critical part for CFO, it's going to really kind of hinder the plays that he starts up, because so many CFO plays really do follow him.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I think that Peanut will be looking for some early pressure on this Vi. Certainly looking for something towards the bottom lane to try to get Viper ahead, to try to get him into a good spot, especially with the power taken out of the bottom lane and being put into the top side with the Karma flex.
Yeah, I like how in the opener too, they had JunJia say, hey, Viper, I am coming to gank bottom. I'm coming to gank bottom over and over and over. I love when junglers make their call like that really early on, because you play the mind game of like, am I actually gonna fully, you know, come
gank? Did he mean it?
Yeah, am I actually gonna fully, you know, gank you or not? And honestly, yeah, I think it definitely would be a viable target, but all of these lanes are kind of viable targets for them to go to. Yeah. Thing is, though, Wukong not very good at ganks pre-6, so might be a bit delayed on that timeline.
Yeah, we'll look at what these lanes look like as well, as we get the fan chants already. So you can hear the Hanwha Life eSports one was much louder. Makes sense since we are here in Wall Park.
That is really weird.
Yeah, I know. Very strange. You know, I thought we'd have more fans come over here to cheer on for the Flying Oysters. And, you know, they did their best. They had a nice little fan chant, but unfortunately, Hanwha Life eSports, a lot of fans here in Korea that have come down to watch them play this match. And, yeah, just a very scary comp here from Hanwha Life eSports. You know, you mentioned the Rakan. We've been talking a lot about Delight's Alistar nowadays. That one actually left up, and so that one did go over to CFO. Remember, this is Fearless, so now Delight doesn't get to play Rakan into Alistar potentially, so that's a nice little thing from the draft that CFO do get at least.
All right, so Deep Vision does go down. They got their Raptor Pit ward, CFO that is, as well as Zeka getting kind of the mirror there. So both of them going to know, presumably, junglers starting on their blue quadrants. And that means that JunJia actually won't be early ganking bottom. Contrary to what he said in the video of the opener, he is going to path away from bottom lane.
He has crafted a fabrication.
Genius.
Doggo is taking a bit of harass here because Kaiwing can't do much except put his head into the Rakan, who's not really going to care about it. The tempo heal used as well. Tempo ignite used by Kaiwing. As now Delight going to eat a Mystic Shot, and he's going to have to back away real quick. But really trying to put on the pressure, hit the level 2 here was Viper and Delight. It kind of did go awry there towards the very end, but still are able to hit level 2 first.
Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of the really weak level 1 for Alistar, but pretty good defense there for CFO, giving some good trades as they get pushed in. Regardless, though, I'm very curious here because Peanut started his Wolves, fully does his blue quadrant, and he's going to be the one that is heading bottom. So we'll see like how extreme this trading gets onto the bottom side of the map. because it is going to be junglers obviously pathing towards opposite quadrants.
Yeah, I mean, Viper and Delight, they put on a decent amount of pressure, but it does look like Rakan, Delight here is going to go for an early back, so not putting on all too much more. You mentioned the Yone into Azir. The first pick on red side Azir for the side of HongQ. He is very much a guy who plays standard mid lane picks. He will play a lot of Azir. He can play stuff like Mel and these control mages, Victor, nowadays in the meta. So they really tried to prioritize his matchup in a Zeka, but they left the Yone available. So pretty interesting. We'll see if it works out for him.
Yeah, Yone looking for a lot of kill pressure onto the Azir. You know, once they get their level 6s, and the Vi gets the level 6 as well. Might have both junglers even looking around to try and influence that matchup, because it does heavily sway basically on kill pressure in lane. Thus far, though, in the early stages, doing just fine there for HongQ.
Zeka trying to... oh, he's going to get a nice ward there in the Raptors. Could be pretty nice, as we do have JunJia making his way, and Kaiwing is here, level 3, looking for a dive on a Zeus here. The wave not in position just yet. And so I'm not sure if this will actually work out. The back is being channeled already. And you can see that Zeus is doing a good job of just actually trying to take the 1v1 here against Rest, which generally is not going to go too well for him, but still is able to push him away from the wave and also thin out the wave a little bit. Not able to do it enough, though, as now here comes the entire party. The flash on into Zeus. He's just going to flash away up the wave, as now the harpoon here on the Rest, but he's still in a 1v3. We do have Peanut trying to make his way up, but I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late. This should be first blood onto one of these guys. Is finally the level up, but it doesn't matter. First blood does go over to JunJia, and again, this guy is making impact right at the beginning of the game.
Oh, here we go, though.
HongQ! Oh, no, he's the one getting bullied. He's only 17, getting dove under the turret 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Delight says, well, that roam timer for support, I'm not going to get outdone. I'm going to make use of mine as well, and goes to the Zeka matchup here. That is rough because HongQ also flashed. So in that scenario, no, he was like staring death right in front of him, but also burning the flash means there will for sure be repeat plays towards mid lane from HLE. But to start it out, it was CFO who strike first. And the first roam timer there from Kaiwing, so often going with JunJia. You know, they're so coordinated there with their jungle support, always trying to meet up, and they send Kaiwing for the Alistar timing. It's just that Zeka, once again, I mean, he had constantly had pressure in the early stages of this lane phase, and so constantly pushing in and chunking out HongQ, and Delight here with his Rakan was able to make good on it, and they have since recalled Viper and sent up to the other side. So the later stage lane swap here for HLE after.
Yeah, relatively common nowadays. You want to play for those first set of Void Grubs and get yourself ahead. Zeus on the Alistar should be okay to at least farm under the turret. Not going to be under too much pressure. But you called it out very early on. This mid lane might be one of the big ones where we have a lot of stories going on, a lot of 1v1ing, and a lot of pressure onto HongQ when Delight does come up, as the Grubs have been started. But now JunJia looking for a play on the bottom side potentially, as the Equalizer will be used to thin out the wave. And that should stop the dive from happening right now, but he could look at it in just a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because HLE had the ward on Dragon, and since they are on Grubs and they had vision of Dragon, they're like, okay, Zeus, there's probably extra pressure coming your way because they're not like trading immediately. So Zeus, really nice job there. Ults the wave, he clears it out, he gets out of there this time, so he doesn't allow himself to be that target. And because of the timing window, fully Grubs are already done, and since CFO were kind of looking for that, they didn't go for the Dragon and try and immediately burn it down. And when the extra experience of Grubs is just so big for junglers, so Peanut already to the level 6 here on Vi, and so it is just full power, and they're going to get both of the first neutral objectives for HLE, which, if we go back to Champ Select, and we're talking about the power of this HLE comp to push the timings of this game with their dive potential, them getting both of the first early neutral objectives is really scary for CFO, because they are really going to be facing an onslaught as we transition into the mid game. Viper's already got his arrow as well, so just so many ways for HLE to force their plays now.
And now Doggo kind of be left alone here, has to take a big chunk of damage. And yeah, certainly, I mean, when you look at the draft, the Karma flex up to the top side, they did get a kill onto Zeus, but that was really just because Alistar roamed up there and exists in the game. This, wow, the arrow going to be put into Kaiwing here. Just a bit of a harass arrow as Kaiwing will be pushed away, as Viper really wants to lock down this lane. But yeah, that flex Karma not really doing it for me just yet, as it even looks like, yeah, it feels like Zeus is just dominating him in lane, even though he lost a, he gave up a kill already.
Yeah, the CFO team, we'll see what they can do later, of course. You know, with JunJia actually getting the kill credit, it's like, well, that's kind of where they do want their money at least, and they want him to be the big carry Wukong, so we'll keep our eyes on that one for them. But as you said as well, the bottom lane, you know, Viper opts to just use his first arrow for lane dominance and a health trade. But Peanut's up top side, and there's your ult.
Yeah, there we go. That's the Rumble and the Vine. You see JunJia here. He's like, what do? I can't go in. I can't really get out. Here is now. He doesn't quite have the clone. Has to go for the Cyclone as now. We see HongQ is making his way up, maybe trying to look for a 2v2, but JunJia is already so low. HongQ going to push them over the wall. Peanut is quite low himself, but the last hit, he is going to take down the jungler of CFO, and now HongQ all alone, and even Zeka's going to get the first roam on up as he does come in and clean up the kill. So CFO trying to help out their brothers, but instead they just gave over more kills.
Oh, Valdez, you called it right before, too. You're not a big fan of the Karma up on top side. They immediately kill it. Peanut uses ult. Okay, well, this train is not going to stop either, because Zeka still gets 2 turret plates off of mid lane. Even though the Yone wasn't there at the very beginning, the Yone is the richest one, the biggest gold difference on the team. And it's Zeka Yone, getting so close to Blade of the Ruined King, like you just completely turned into a different champion. Yeah, all right, let's take another look at it, because it was a nice move from Peanut up through the pre-existing control ward there. And it's just that ultimate combination that we mentioned in highlight there from Champ Select. They're immediately able to get the lead. And since they got such a big health lead chasing JunJia into the jungle, even though HongQ rotated first, it didn't matter. Peanut is able to get his auto attack off here with the E resets as the flash goes off. And so your auto attack's still going to do the damage, because the flash didn't get break vision there. And so he gets that, plus he got the shield from passive, came back up. And so huge stuff here for HLE.
Yeah.
Again, they're coming in, you know, as really big tournament favorites, but does look like this one, they are on the warpath. Look at that very quick mountain of gold.
Yeah, the gold difference here, powered by AWS. We have skyrocketed into, well, the sky, as Hanwha Life eSports have taken a massive lead in this early game. We're only 10 minutes in. They're more than 2,000 gold ahead.
All right.
Maybe this is the opportunity, as that is not support Karma, but still she's only got a lost chapter. Can she do anything? As here comes the equalizer. Rest is already almost dead, as Peanut and Viper are here. And they're even going to use the cease and desist into Doggo, as there's nowhere for him to go. They hand over the kill to Viper, as it was bad, and now it's just getting worse, Kobe.
Okay, so if this HLE rocket was in the sky about 30 seconds ago, we're surpassing the ozone layer very quickly, and we're going to be in outer space, I think, by like 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah. We're in the stratosphere now.
Maybe 20 minutes. CFO, though, trying to get some gold wherever they can. Of course, you know, you're going to lose a lot of objectives after you lose, you know, multiple players, you know, in the same sequence. So, yes, it is going to be a very quick 6 grubs for HLE. And Zeus was able to mine some turret plate money off the bottom side by a very quick rotation from HLE. So it's like, it's not only are HLE getting these big wins in these skirmishes and outplaying there, but they are also then making the most of it so quickly with their map rotations and mining money off of turret plates. So that's why the gold is ballooning so quickly. But as you said, Zeus just walks into the alcove, and it's an alcove of death here for CFO. Peanut recognized that Rest was already dead, so no need to ult him. Uses the ult for Doggo, and like a good jungler, Peanut left the kill to Viper. Here you go, on a silver platter. Immediately, as we said as well, Zeus then went to the bottom side and made the most of it, getting money there. So, I mean, this is There's a lot of gold very quickly.
Yeah, will CFO get their first objective? That is the question on my mind at this point in time. The feats have already gone over to Hanwha Life eSports as they have gotten the first 3 objectives, both sets of grubs and the first dragon, alongside of all the kills, of course. But they really want just the 1 dragon, but Delight's presence alone is enough to push them away, at least for now. We'll see if CFO actually do make a play for this dragon and stake their claim over this one. Hanwha Life eSports might just give it over and say, hey, we want the turret instead, but Peanut is keeping watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't give anything.
Oh, gonna hit the clone. Nice clone here, but at the same time, you're not gonna have that engaged now as they go in onto the Wukong and JunJia. There's just nowhere for him to go. They just go all in onto him, and the follow-up is there. Kaiwing can't get away from Viper, but Viper will let him go. CFO HongQ, he's trapped. He wants to make something of this. He goes in for the sweep as now maybe something, maybe 1 kill can go over to CFO, but the answer is absolutely not in this fight at least, as Rest also will be baited into it and goes down. The 0-3 Karma and the 0-3 Azir. We're not feeling too good about that right now.
Avert your eyes, it's a bloodbath. It is not going to get easier to watch from here.
Oh,
it is brutal. HLE will take from them everything. They will not give a single thing over to CFO. Thankfully, CFO did get their first blood at the very beginning of the game onto Zeus. So they have something on the scoreboard, but the map will quickly fall into HLE hands here as Peanut counter jungles while the rest of the players take away some towers and some extra territory. So
he's just watching them. He's like, how dare you?
Yeah. Lining it up, and then you get, once again, the Vi and Rumble combination, the ultimates both used on JunJia. They're trying to take him down so he can't stick around for a smite bite or anything like that. It was very clear the call from HLE to go for the fights, not let any health bar of the dragon get low for any smite bites or anything like that. And nobody is going to be able to make any counter plays here as well. So very rich HLE and full objectives for them as well. Let's see what else they can get.
That really is the question at this point in time, as we do see the damage that has been done in the last fight. Like, HongQ did do a little bit, but unfortunately, the main thing that he did was just kind of bait Rest into doing more. And getting in there and dying once again. You can see the plate gold difference going heavily in Hanwha Life eSports' favor, as they have been given the majority of the plates in this one. As now, CFO trying to fight over this area of the map as well, maybe looking for the Rift Herald, but you see Hanwha Life eSports going in for the fight once again. They want JunJia. They're not quite going to get him as he does get out here, but the follow-up in onto HongQ, and that's a Yone. Zeka's like, thank you very much. I'll get into that fight if you'd like me to. As the sweep came in, he just goes back to his Unbound Soul, and CFO just have to run away injured. As
they spy a bird.
They do spy a bird here, as HongQ should be going down as well. And you can see this lane economy snapshot powered by MasterCard. It's just growing larger and larger for the side of Hanwha Life eSports. As Zeka is just killing a turret in top. They don't even need him for the fight in the jungle.
CFO, they did kill Peanut, though.
They did.
They did kill Peanut. That was a shutdown.
They doubled their kills.
That's what you have to do when the games are like this and they're just running out of control. You just got to focus on one at a time, try and get one shutdown at a time. They're able to get a one right there at least. It will be a long, long journey back to an even plateau for the gold differences, but you have to start every journey with one step, Valdez. And the first step is going to be try and run away. So we go into the replay here as we see them attempt that. Nice little flank here through the river. It was nice focus as well once again. They initially were trying to chunk JunJia out of the team fight, the Wukong. Zeka then was able to follow through, and when they saw HongQ flash over, Zeus says, I'm not done. That Azir flashed over, but he spies him from the bush. He's a bird watcher.
Yeah.
Zeus got out his binoculars. They found him. Thankfully, though, for CFO, they at least got some money, and the shutdown did go over to Karma.
And by the way, HongQ's just dying in live as this is happening. That is now his 5th death, unfortunately, for our young rookie player here from the LCP. He is getting bullied by Hanwha Life eSports in Lol Park. I guess you could say you had a fun experience at least. Or you have your like little bucket list, you can check that off, but it's not going to feel great for the side of HongQ because Zeka, he's playing as Yone. He's 3,000 gold ahead, 17 minutes in, and the game just kind of feels done and dusted. We'll see if CFO have a way back into this one, but it's 8,000 gold to lead, and we'll see how HongQ died this time.
Zeka this time was bird watching from the brush. He goes in, and we saw an AShe arrow kind of make a little preview across the screen there too. But Zeka says, don't need it, all on my own. Able to finish that one off again, and the Yone does not get less scary inside lanes as the game goes on, and he's extremely rich, so everybody will be fearing for their lives on CFO when they venture out from under their towers. HLE, again, as we said, just have so much engage that they're kind of built to push these games so quickly and farm kills, but Kaiwing wants to go back to the snap.
You see Zeka actually tried to Q3 over the wall there. Kaiwing is going to headbutt him back into the Cyclone, but that's just a dead Wukong instead. Zeka going 1v4. Surely he goes down here to these three as he gets a three-man knockup once again and finally a sweep and rest. They finally take down the Yone as Delight is side lane pushing with his buddies as they look for more and more objectives.
It's okay, though. That's shutdown number 2, Valdez. They got another one. Zeka is good for 1 in the 4v1, as he kills JunJia, who went back over with very low HP. And you already kind of mentioned that their base took a little hit, a slight hit.
It's just one inhibitor out of the 3, so, it's not even more than half.
It's a little drafty down there being open, but Peanut caught on the blue buff.
Yes, caught.
Really caught?
Totally caught unawares here as his brothers, Viper and Delight, help him out. We got the TP coming in. Doggo is just pretty much dead beat in this one. Dies to the Vi as meanwhile Viper's kiting it out against 2. It just gets worse from here as even Zeka is adding insult to injury. They didn't need Zeus this time as he was just TPing to the top side. They look for the Karma as well. Rest probably survives here, I say, as in goes Peanut flashing for the kill onto Rest. He is not done just yet as Peanut will go down and Rest will survive for now.
That's one of those plays where it's like, well, if Delight's going to flash for it, then I'm going to flash for it too. Let's go, man. It is a solo lane Karma and is able to survive under the tower there with a little bit of a leash. But in the end, more blood, Valdez. That's the takeaway. More blood for the blood god here in this game.
At least we have action in this one with Hanwha Life eSports really upping the pace. You can see they try to take out Zeka, and they do eventually get him. Yeah. But not without some blood.
There were honey fruit in the river, but he decided to go over and try and jump on that fight. They really wanted this kill, and they do get it. And again, that's the second shutdown. The second shutdown that also went to the Karma.
Yeah.
And then, as you know, Karma's going to end up getting another kill in either the next replay or as this replay goes super long on Peanut as well. Yeah. So, Valdez, you didn't like the Karma up the top lane, but looks to me like the Karma's getting a lot of kills.
Yeah, getting real fed in this one.
Answer me that, huh?
We were not going to play the replay where the Karma gets the kill. We were just going to avoid that one. She's getting a little bit too strong. The Rakan did go over to Hanwha Life here as is expected. As meanwhile, just Viper, he's got a low cooldown on that. He's like, I might as well put it on cooldown. I'll have it back up in 30 seconds anyway. As, CFO were able to push top a little bit. They got something on the map, so there is that. As I'm sure they're going to be thinking they're lucky stars that the Baron has not yet spawned. Because I think Hanwha Life would just take it if it were there.
Yeah. Nice little pushback there. We got the Otacon, the flowers as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of experience leads, as you can see, by our XP plus level powered by AWS on the side there. They're also going to have a lot of extra damage from those flowers. So let's see what they can do with that damage. First step, take over the jungle behind Baron as we prep the rift.
I love how CFO are not backing down from anything. Kaiwing's like, you want to go? Let's fight, buddy. As meanwhile, 3 people are going to get ulted by Zeka, and it just doesn't matter as he's just flexing on them right now. A little bit of aura farming, I guess, but at the end of the day, he just backs away. Nobody was able to follow up. The equalizer was not used by Zeus, and it just looked cool. As meanwhile, they're just pushing mid. Zeka maybe looking for a bit more, but he doesn't have his ult anymore. That we know.
We do know that.
They got that out of him.
No Zeka ultimate for now. How do we punish that? Well, he just used his E as well.
Yeah, there was an opportunity there with the top
Maybe
karma.
type in all chat, hey, duel me now at my own base under tower.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the one to... Oh, he's actually going to go bird watching again.
1v1
Hide on bush.
I won't bring my
Classic
whole
strategy.
team. Yeah. Hide on bush. Zeka has learned. Oh, no.
It is the bird.
It is the bird. And, you know, the Yone ultimate cooldown is pretty low. Zeka might not even need it, but the golden arm guard is going to come out here as now. Zeka, did he get baited into the fight by himself? As meanwhile, Zeus and Viper are also coming up here. And JunJia is like, okay, I have escorted my team away from this one. We want to back away. But here comes Delight, and now the equalizer is pretty nice on top of Rest, and HongQ. HongQ is so low in this one, and Doggo, he eased over the wall as the fight is very much broken up. JunJia is going to be going down as well. 3 people left, and the ult is back up here for Zeka, and he's going to catch Rest as well. HongQ just trying to get away from this one, just trying to survive, but Zeus says, no, I want more blood. I haven't had enough kills here as he picks up his 5th. I think Hanwha Life eSports will just take the Nexus now, Kobe.
Okay, so no Baron in this game. No Baron at all. HLE looking to take a dominant game number 1.
Yeah, this one was a game of League of Legends that we did have. 12,000 gold the lead as Hanwha Life eSports dominates CFO here in game number 1. It was an absolute crushing defeat. We'll see if they can come back in game number 2.
Yeah, if CFO, they can take solace in the fact that HLE are probably going to dominate a lot of teams at this tournament and a lot of games.
Absolutely. Hanwha Life eSports, the favorites. They prove it again here in game number 1 with a dominant victory. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with game